God's Not Dead 2 is directed by Harold Kronk, the director of the first God's Not Dead, and it stars Melissa Joan Hart along with many other people, and is the religious movie that I have been dreading this entire year. Because so far this year, I've already seen 3 or 4 other religious-based movies. Risen was something that I actually ended up enjoying. That was older times. Young Messiah I thought was okay. Again, olden times. So those things I could take as different kind of religious movies because they are, you know, told in like the past. So it's like they have like a different kind of feel to them. But then recently we had Miracles from Heaven, which I actually ended up enjoying, mostly because of Jennifer Garner. And then now we have God's Not Dead. So those were all movies that I thought didn't hit you over the head too much with their religion. And even though there was definitely an audience for those that were very specific, I thought those were pretty good and they could be enjoyed by most people. This movie is what I like to call propaganda. When I was watching this movie, I felt like I was a Nazi watching Nazi propaganda in Inglourious Basterds. I felt like I was Hitler. And the thing is, I'm not calling Christianity Nazis and like whatever. I'm just saying this movie is so geared only for Christians that if anyone else saw it, they would have no interest whatsoever. They would just kill themselves. They would hate themselves for watching this movie because it is only for Christians. Like, that's it. And that's why I compare it to being a Nazi, because Nazis are the only ones that would like, you know, Nazi propaganda. Hitler would love that crap because he's a Nazi. If you're a Jew, you're not going to like that crap. If you're anybody else besides a Christian, you're not going to like this movie because it's not for you. It's only for them. Just like I said in the other reviews. Toy Story is for everybody. All the people love Toy Story. This movie over here, God's Not Dead, is like Alvin and the Chipmunks. Just for kids. This ain't for anybody except for the kids. No adult's gonna like this stuff. All the adults love Toy Story. Nobody loves this crap. God's Not Dead is Alvin and the Chipmunks. It is only for the Christians. Everyone else is gonna hate this movie because it is so in your face. They just pound down the message. Hey, are you a Christian? Boom, here's why you should be. Boom, you're a Christian? Alright, boom, you're gonna love this movie. It's like, can you just give me a little bit different of a perspective? Like a little bit? Can you just make the villains not so villainous if they're not a Christian? Like, show like an actual, how people actually are. Don't color code everything and like make it, oh, Christian. It's like, come on, can you just make a good movie instead of just making a movie specifically for your audience? I know you're going for Christians, I understand. But can you just make a movie that's for a broader audience? Because then maybe more people will enjoy it. And you'll be able to reach more people instead of just going over the people that you already know you're going to get. It's just like Jesus, right? This movie is nothing like Jesus. This movie is like the Pharisees. Because Jesus wanted to go after the tax collectors and the awful people and everything. Jesus is like the opposite of this movie. This movie is like, no, we don't want to be like Jesus. We want to go only for the Pharisees, only for the good people that want us. It's like, it's doing the opposite thing of what it should be doing. And I'm sorry, that was like a whole rant I just went on, but it just bugs me that these movies just are unable to just reach a broad audience because they just have to push it in your face, their agenda the whole time. And it's annoying. Even as a Christian, you get annoyed watching this stuff because it's like, oh my God, please, just stop embarrassing me with this nonsense. It's like, even if it's a good message, it's so in your face that it's like, oh my God, it's just too much to handle, you know? And I'm sorry, it's just a whole rant that I had to go on because watching this movie, it's so painful to watch sometimes. Now, all that being said, I didn't even hate this movie that much. I thought the movie started out and it was so in your face. And it was just so over the top. And the acting was just ridiculous and awful. And just, the first 10 minutes I just wanted to walk out because it was just, I could not take it. But then, the movie goes into its plot. And the plot of the movie is basically this teacher says something about Jesus in her class, in her history class, and some student gets offended, and then she has to go to court and all this. And right off the bat, I was like, this is ridiculous. It's like the most ridiculous premise, even though things like that do happen. But the fact that some kid would get mad at that in history class, kids aren't paying attention in history class. Nobody would care, all right? That was the most unrealistic thing with the movie. Is like nobody would even care. They're not even paying attention right now. It's like at the end of class, nobody's paying attention to what you're saying, lady. Nobody is getting all offended. But hey, you know what? Things like this actually happen, so I went with it. And I'm glad I went with it because I actually ended up enjoying parts of the movie after that, because once you get past all the beginning stuff of like all in your face, it kind of presents a cool, not a cool, but an important issue that's going on right now with Christianity and just religion in general, just being taken away from the people, you know? And with pastors having a hand in their sermons and like all these things going on, freedom of religion and all this stuff is like being taken away because the government wants to control everything. And I thought this was an important kind of movie to have this stuff talk about, and it was nice to see these things talked about. But I just wish that it was in a better movie talking about it, so that it reached a bigger audience instead of only the Christians, because you know they're gonna like this anyway. Can you just reach a little bit? I'm sorry, I keep going back to this. Just reach a bigger audience. That's all I'm saying. But I actually ended up enjoying the courtroom scenes of this thing. Call me a sucker for courtroom scenes and all that kind of stuff, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the debates that they had and the different perspectives that they showed in that, and it was actually enjoyable to watch for the most part. I just wish that they would have set it up better so that I could have enjoyed the movie overall as a whole. But overall, I actually ended up enjoying those courtroom scenes, and the characters, although unrealistic and wooden at points, have some real moments of levity and some real funny moments in there thrown in, and some really likable characters with a mostly awful script besides the points that like they really were trying to make. I thought they made well, but other times it was like, oh my god, just regular conversation. It's like the worst dialogue known to man. So some of it is so cringeworthy, but some of it is so good, and that's why I'm so conflicted with this movie, because I didn't hate it, and I actually enjoyed so much of it, but so much of it was so in your face that it's so just unenjoyable, even as a Christian. And I thought that it had such a glossy feel to it that all the suspense of like what's going to happen and all this stuff, it seems so just, oh, hey, happy, you know, it's like people, you know, look, here's the thing with this movie. People in my theater really enjoyed it because it was the audience that this movie was going for. They really enjoyed it. They loved it. They were laughing. They were clapping at the end and all this stuff. But I go for a better movie than I do for, oh, a good message. I enjoy a good message in a movie, and I have no problem with the message. I just have a problem with the way that it's presented. I just wish that Christian movies would get to the point that Christian music has gotten to, because Christian music used to be awful. But now there's so many different genres and so many different takes, and it's not all just, oh, God, God, God. It's a lot of hidden messages in the song. You know, the song's not all about God, God, God. It has a broader appeal, but it has the message in its core, you know, instead of being all in your face. And I just wish that the movies would get to that point already, because some of these are so hard to watch. And even though I ended up enjoying parts of this movie, overall I just can't say that it's a good movie, because it's so only directed to Christians that it's like so painful to watch. But if you are a Christian, obviously you're going to like this movie, you know, and I think it will bring up some good discussion and things that actually need to happen. I just wish that it could have been a broader appeal. I just wish that I liked the movie more, because I think there's a good movie in here, but it just will not get past the point of being a Christian movie. I don't want to see a Christian movie and say, oh, it's a Christian movie. I want to see a Christian movie and be like, oh, I wouldn't even think of that as a Christian movie. It's just like a good movie. That's the point I want to reach, and this movie ain't doing it. I thought it was, I ended up enjoying so much of it, but not liking so much, and I'm right in the middle. I'm like, it was okay. You know, it was okay. I didn't hate it, but by no means do I love it. I'm going to have to go 2.5. out of 5 for this one. Please, can we get to the point of just good Christian movies? Miracles from Heaven was good. It wasn't all in your face. Like, it was a better story and everything, and not all in your face. We need more movies like this and less movies so in your face, because this movie could be good if they just weren't attacking you the whole film, you know? Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this and you want to see more reviews from a guy like me, you can subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.